58% say they are more worried about stopping the virus spread, while 32% are more concerned with the economic fallout, a new NBC News WSJ poll shows. Nearly 60% of American voters say they are more concerned that relaxing stay-at-home restrictions would lead to more COVID-19 deaths than they are that the restrictions will hurt the U.S. economy, according to a new national NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. But while strong majorities of Democrats and independents are more worried about the coronavirus than the economy, Republicans are divided on the question, with almost half of them more concerned about how the restrictions could affect the economy. The poll also finds a significant change in attitudes about the coronavirus. The percentage of voters saying they're worried that a family member might catch it has increased by 20 points since last month's survey. And those saying the coronavirus has changed their family's day-to-day lives in a major way has jumped by more than 50 points from the March NBC News WSJ poll. So much else has stayed steady in the midst of the pandemic. President Donald Trump's job rating remains unchanged in the mid-40s, a majority continues to disapprove of the president's handling of the coronavirus, and Trump is still trailing apparent Democratic nominee Joe Biden in the race for the White House. "We have not seen a change at all for Trump," said Republican pollster Bill McInturff, who conducted the survey with Democratic pollster Peter Hart and his colleagues at Hart Research Associates. But Hart cautions that a long-lasting crisis could change things for the president. "In every crisis, we go through this coming together phase. And then we come to the recrimination phase," he said. President Trump faces some tough sledding ahead in the recrimination phase. The NBC News WSJ poll was conducted April 13 to 15 during a national debate over when to reopen the country amid the spread of the coronavirus that has killed more than 35,000 people in the U.S. On Thursday, Trump announced federal guidelines that essentially leave it up to the states to decide when to begin pullbacks from stay-at-home orders. Then, on Friday, Trump tweeted at states with Democratic governors who have instituted stay-at-home orders. "Liberate Minnesota," the president said. In the poll, 58% of registered voters say that what worries them more is that the U.S. will move too quickly to loosen stay-at-home restrictions, resulting in the coronavirus spreading and more lives being lost. That's compared with 32% who are more concerned that the U.S. will take too long to loosen restrictions, which will harm the economy. McInturff, the GOP pollster, said the numbers represent a powerful signal that the country isn't ready for business as usual on May 1. But there's also a familiar partisan divide inside the numbers. While 77% of Democratic respondents and 57% of independents are more worried about the coronavirus than the economy, Republicans are divided, with 48% expressing more concern about the economy and 39% more worried about the coronavirus. Half of voters say they don't trust Trump's coronavirus statements. Also in the poll, 44% of voters say they approve of Trump's handling of the coronavirus, while 52% disapprove. That's essentially unchanged from March, when 45% gave the president a thumbs up and 51% gave him a thumbs down. Trump's overall job rating stands at 46% who approve and 51% who disapprove, which is identical to his score in March and consistent with his numbers over the past 2 years. Only 36% of respondents in the poll say they generally trust what Trump has said when it comes to the coronavirus, while 52% say they don't trust him. By comparison, 69% say they trust the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 66% trust their own governors. 60% trust Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert. 46% trust New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. And 35% trust Vice President Mike Pence. The numbers for Biden are 26% who trust, 29% who don't trust and 42% who aren't aware of his coronavirus statements or who don't have an opinion. As for the federal government's response to the coronavirus, 50% of voters say they're satisfied with the measures intended to limit the disease's spread, versus 48% who are dissatisfied. But just 34% are satisfied with the federal government's ensuring that there are enough tests to limit its spread, and only 34% are satisfied with the amount of medical supplies. A sea change in attitudes about the coronavirus. The NBC News WSJ poll also shows how the past month has changed Americans' attitudes about the coronavirus. In March, 53% of voters said they were worried that someone in their immediate family would catch the disease. Now it's 73%. Also in March, a combined 26% said the coronavirus has changed their day-to-day lives in a very, or fairly major way. Now it's 77%. And in a CNBC poll conducted in early April by the same polling firms, 27% said they personally know someone infected by the coronavirus. Now, just more than a week later, it's 40%. Socially and economically, we have seen a sea change in attitudes in just a month, said Democratic pollster Jeff Horwit of Hart Research Associates. Biden maintains lead over Trump in White House race. In the race for the White House, the NBC News WSJ poll shows Biden ahead of Trump by 7 points nationally among registered voters, 49% to 42%. That's down from Biden's 9-point advantage last month, 52% to 43%, although the change is well within the poll's margin of error. Looking inside the overall numbers, Biden's biggest advantages are with African American voters, among whom he leads Trump by 85% to 7%, Latinos, 60% to 26%, voters ages 18 to 34, 54% to 31%, women, 56% to 35%, and whites with college degrees, 55% to 37%. Trump's greatest strengths are with white voters, 51% to 42%, men, 50% to 41%, and whites without college degrees, 60% to 33%. Among independents, Biden is ahead of Trump by just 1 point, 43% to 42%. And when the race is reduced to 11 swing states, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, Biden holds a combined 6-point lead over Trump, 49% to 43%. Biden also leads Trump by 9 points on which candidate would better handle a crisis, 47% to 38%, and by 9 points on who would better handle the coronavirus, 45% to 36%. But Trump leads Biden by 11 points on which candidate would better handle the economy, 47% to 36%. Pessimism grows about the state of the economy. Yet voters are much more pessimistic about the economy than they were a month ago. In the new poll, a plurality of 45% describe the economy as being poor, which is up more than 20 points since March. That's the highest percentage of respondents calling the economy poor in the NBC News WSJ poll since 2012. 31% rate the economy as being only fair, and a combined 22% say it's either excellent or good, down 25 points from last month.